racing orders. The 5-second board is out, and we are racing in the first race of the Engen Volkswagen Cup. It's Sheldon van der Linde, and out in front, everyone goes to the inside to try and get around, and it is Matt Shorter that goes to the front of the field. Behind him is Sheldon van der Linde, then it is Matthew Hodges, followed by side, Sean Raceway and Chris Shorter, big brother to Matthew Shorter. And it is an absolute side-by-side, all the monkeys in the zoo. Neon de Toy, one of the biggest losers, dropping right down in the clutches of the PG Glass duo of Tasman Pepper and Trevor Bland.
Well, pretty much sandwiched there between Bland and I must say, I came off the line. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit, race pace was a little bit too heavy on the loud pedal, picked up a lot of wheel spin, had to short-change it into second, and that unfortunately got the PG Glass cars right in there with him. Down the backbone they go, the champion team running first and second. And I tell you what, they started with the fastest lap times. They're looking very solid right now. Bonafide will obviously want to hold on to that grouping very closely, because Bonafide knows that if those two champion cars work together as teammates, which I'm sure they will until close towards the end of the race, going to be every man for himself. But right now, the champion boys, Lionel Stern, are leading the pack around.
Okay, so with just one lap down, it's action aplenty out there on the track. We do, of course, welcome, well, as you have said already, Gary Neon. He's back in Polo Cup racing. The action up front is tight and furious between Sheldon and Shorter. We've got Matt Shorter and Sheldon van der Linde, two of the youngest competitors in the Polo Cup category.
You say youngest, how old are they?
Sheldon is 15, and so is Matt. I think Matt's 16, so 15 and 16 years old.
Good golly, Miss Molly, and they'll lead them around. So the leaders, in fact, changing positions. I think that Sheldon that's just got in front of Matt Shorter as they go line stone into the double right-hander, out into the back main. The Cape Townian Sean Raceway doing very well, just ahead of Matthew Rogers.
With Raceway, Gary.
Ex-Cape Townian from many years back, so we'll still refer to that. And the under-toy race mates having lost out initially is looking very solid in that line stone. The PG cars just in front and just behind him.
What I will do is also, of course, Kuda Vajiri is at the back of the field, but this is his first time in Polo Cup. It is also his first time on this track. So the SA Stationery sponsored car doing very well in this very competitive field. And John Johnson moving up from the starting, also at the back of the field, up into 50. Bradley Liebenberg struggling to find his way through the field after that disappointing exclusion after qualifying. Tasman Pepper doing well. Sorry, we're just having a look. Sean Raceway slowing down, possibly a problem with an Alpine Motors car. And I see Yuri Swart moving up the inside of John Johnson at the back of the field. So Yuri Swart gaining a position out on track. And they're going round the back through Malmesbury. They're going to come down the back straight. They are flat out, almost at the limiter of these Engen Volkswagen Cup cars. They are sealed engines, folks, so there's no adding or changing. It's all managed by Volkswagen Motorsports. And Sheldon van der Linde opening up a gap as they go into Cape Town corner. Matt Shorter right there, so is Matthew Hodges. According to the qualifying sheet, Hodges is the fastest competitor, but on the last couple of laps, the fastest lap at the moment does go to Sheldon van der Linde.
Remember that top six did go into a draw, so that affects, mixes it up as they come off the line. Not in the fastest at the front, the top six coming across the line. So let's see how it comes out now. It's also Chris Shorter with the Hollard car also running very slowly. So the fastest man out there right now, 127.4, Sheldon van der Linden. Matt Shorter, who was on the front row of the grid as well, he's still in second. Matthew Hodges is the first of the Masters with Daniel Rowe right in there behind him. The first lady racer out there in fifth race is Tasman Pepper. And she's the first of the PG Glass cars. Neanderthal Raceway right in there behind her.
This is what Engen Volkswagen Cup is all about. The Raceway, unfortunately, still dropping down that order. He's now down to 11th place, and he was challenging for a top 6 finishing position. So the Alpine Motors car definitely not having the best first race of the day. Hopefully things improve. What we do see, though, is that Hodges and that is Daniel Rowe challenging for position down in, I want to say that is for 3rd place on the road, and right behind them is Tasman Pepper and Neanderthal side by side through the bowl. Not the best idea, and it also looks like they're leaning on each other quite heavily.
Well, that's going to bring the PG Glass lass right into it as well. Tasman Pepper now closed up quite a bit onto the back of Daniel Rowe. As they all said, they were side by side through Cape Town corner. That's not the fastest way to go through Cape Town corner. So Tasman then closing up on the back end of Daniel Rowe. Daniel Rowe bumper to bumper with Matthew Hodges. Neanderthal, the local man, having started off on the 3rd row of the grid, losing out on the pullaways due to excessive wheel spin, short-changing it into second, sliding it as they go through the engine corner, losing the tailwind slightly, but not losing too much ground was Daniel Rowe. So Rowe definitely under immense pressure, not only to pressurize Matthew Hodges, but Tasman is starting to become a factor now as she pressurizes pretty heavily, knowing that Neanderthal with his local knowledge is not far behind the back bumper.
We've had 3 retirements already in this race: Sean Raceway, Chris Shorter and Kuda. We've got a couple of laps left in this race. It's 5 laps remaining in this race. Trevor Band and Neanderthal side by side down towards Cape Town corner and into the bowl. Neon's on the inside, Bland is on the outside, and it's going to be side by side with the toy coming out the quicker. Bland is pushing him all the way, but Neanderthal is going to hold his position, and Trevor will have to find another way around. Yuri Swart goes wide into the bowl, kicking up dirt onto the track, and they still have not sorted out that battle. This time Neon's on the inside for turn 1, and Trevor has to brake very late to cut in behind him and still has not found a way. So PG Glass is just behind the Power Flow car of Cape Townian Neanderthal. Now, Neon, of course, the Cape Town family know that he spends his whole life on this racetrack. He knows it every single inch, left side and front. We've got a car rejoining on the track. It looks to be Chris Short. No, Shair Harper. I haven't got visual of the other car that's supposed to be joining. So we go back to the racing action. It is on lap number 4. 4 laps remaining in this 10-lap race for the Engen Volkswagen Cup. Sheldon is almost comfortable out in the champion car in front. Matt Shorter behind him. Then it's Matt Hodges, Daniel Rowe, Tasman Pepper, Neanderthal and Trevor Bland still discussing that finishing position, and that is for position 6 and 7th on the track. Down further field, we've got Lyle Ramsey and Michael Gibson discussing positions as well. Very close indeed.
Are you saying they were discussing positions there? It was Trevor Bland that was on the outside of Neanderthal, and I thought it was pretty much discussion done until they came under the braking markers. Neanderthal going on the inside line and just sticking it up on the inside of Trevor Bland. The two of them definitely now slowing one another down. There's no doubt about that. That's allowed Tasman to, with no pressure, then start closing up on the back end there of Daniel Rowe. Daniel Rowe got a bird's eye view of a major tussle between Matthew Hodges and Matt Shorter. Matt doing the necessaries to stay in that second position with Sheldon having now a free run. He's having a discussion all by himself as second, third, fourth and fifth pretty much up for grabs.
Going back to the tail end, I'm looking at that battle now with Lyle Ramsey in the Munro colours and Bradley Liebenberg in the Perodo colours, as Bradley moving up a position. So after starting right at the back of the field in 18th place, he's now up to 10th. So well done to young Bradley moving up the field. Well, Sheldon, by incident, accident or failure, has got the poleman and the flag sorted out with only 3 laps left to go once they cross the line. But look at the challenge between Daniel Rowe and Matthew Hodges. Side by side again through the ball. Matt Short has got a bird's eye view in his rear view mirror. And here they come with Tasman Pepper watching and waiting. And Hodges is holding off Rowe at this stage. Hodges has got the inside line. He goes very, very wide, forcing Rowe to break early. And Hodges holds off Rowe. So it's still Hodges in 3rd place, Rowe in 4th, and Tasman Pepper in 5th. My maths is shocking. In them, of course, Gary, is Nian de Toy and Trevor Bland. With Trevor Bland ahead of de Toy, and it looks like that's the way it's going to stay. We've got 2.5 laps left to go.
Matt Shorter now getting a little bit of a gap away from Matthew Hodges. Matthew, years gone by, was pretty much the man to catch, and now he's got himself tied up in the front leading group. But slowly but surely trying to hold on the back of Matt Shorter. But I think Matt has now made just enough space between the two of them to break the tail. Having said that, the action now starts up directly behind him as Tasman Pepper still pressurizing Daniel Rowe. But I thought Tasman was actually in a position to make a passing maneuver. It's pretty much them holding one another a little bit up that has kept Tasman right there with them, although their pace is such that Trevor Bland, having dropped Nian de Toy, Trevor is also not capable of catching them. So in the very low 1 minute 27s, it's pretty much deja vu right now for the 2 PT Glass cars, with a lovely pace from Daniel Rowe, Matthew Hodges and Matt Shorter. Sharon van der Linde still leads them out.
I like looking at all over the field, and I have been keeping an eye on Duval Moritz and Michael Gibson in 8th and 9th place on the track. It's nice to see the two of them tussling about. There are 1.5 laps left in this race, and we have almost a change, I was going to say, but not quite there. Watch Michael Gibson and Duval Moritz side by side, and it is going to be Michael Gibson up the inside of Duval Moritz as they go now down to Rose Corner and towards Malmesbury. They are side by side. It is a tussle for position. It is for 8th position on the road, but for them it could be the battle for the lead, the way they are fighting tooth and nail. They come around now. They're going to start the last lap of this race, folks. But let's have a look. It's Michael Gibson ahead of Duval Moritz at position, and Bradley Liebenberg is catching them. Bradley's still in 10th place. He hasn't been able to improve on that.
Trevor Bland has now got himself right onto the back of Tasman Pepper. I don't think Tasman's any slower. She's remained with the same gap between herself and Daniel Rowe. I believe that Bland has got close enough to pick up the toe from behind, and that's going to be what he requires if he wants to have a first in the team. It's going to be all down the back straight. Tasman's going to have to be very careful to hold on to that position. I don't think she's going to be able to go any further forward. The first place pretty much barring unforeseen circumstances. Sharon van der Linde just goes into a four-wheel power slide through Engen corner, looks into the mirror and says, yeah baby, you guys stay right there. Matt Shorter holding the rest of the pack behind. Hodges, Daniel Rowe and Tasman Pepper, and now Trevor Bland comes into play. But apart from that, as you bring them up to the final 2 corners, I think you must just keep an eye on the local man who's getting a lot of pressure now. Nian de Toy with Gibson and Moritz having their own battle and going to fetch Nian de Toy. Bring them to the line, Lauren.
Well, it's now do or die time. There's the last corner of the race. We go back to Michael Gibson, Neon de Toy, to Valmeritz and Bradley Levenberg. It is a four-way battle for 8th position, but at the same time, it is Sheldon van der Linde that has done the job to take maximum points in race 1 in the champion colours for the Baroda Racing team. Well done to Sheldon van der Linde. Coming home in second will be Matt Shorter, Matthew Hodges, and Trevor Bland nailed his teammate on the finish line, with Neon de Toy coming home in 7th place, and Bradley Levenberg, a fantastic drive to come home in 8th place after starting at the back of the field. So well done to all competitors. I tell you what, you never give up racing until you see that checkered flag in Polo Cup, because anything can happen. How do you gain 4 places on the last corner of a 10-lap race and come home in 7th? That's just the way you do it.
Well, with the PG Glass team of Tasman